All right. Yes. Yes. Oh, man. Whoo. Yes. Oh, man. Super Bowl Sunday is just a few days away. I have a bet. I have two bets. I made a prop bet, and I have a bet on Super Bowl. Before I get going, there will be no show next week. No show next week. But you can hit me up. All my social media links are in the description below. My email is, you can see right there on the screen, the DanShow at Yahoo. If you want to hit me up, feel free to either email me, hit me up on social media. I will be able to respond, but there will be no show next Friday. Just some quick announcements. Starting March 7th, I will have a video with the first pick in the draft. I'm going to go through draft order 1 through 32. Jacksonville will pick first. The winner of the Super Bowl will pick 32nd. And what I'll do is have a video every Monday through Friday, a new video every day, Monday through Friday, with the new draft pick. The way I have it worked out is I'm going to start March the 7th, which is on a Monday. It's the last day of the combine. The week of the draft, there'll be 35 days, 35 videos. I will have to do a retraction video. For example, let's just say Jacksonville, let's just say I have them taking a left tackle or a tackle with the first pick, and they sign a tackle in free agency. I'll do a retraction video. I'll do the new draft order. So that's the plan, 32 videos plus 3 days for retraction videos. Plus, my plan is to have a video for every team that doesn't have a pick in the first round, kind of go over what I think they'll do. In 2 weeks from now, I'm going to start with my just kind of breakdown of how the teams are looking before free agency, before the draft. I just use a simple plus minus system. And what I'll do is I'll break it up between East, North, South, and West, and all 8 teams. And I'll just do a quick synopsis, just how I think the team's going to look going into the 2022 season. So with that out of the way, I kind of didn't put it in the description. I wanted to just go over the Hall of Fame picks real fast. Funk. By the way, man, I said this last week, man, but that little avatar, that is badass, man. That is badass. And man, Funk, man, I'm jacked up, man. I had an energy drink about half an hour ago. I got a full cup of coffee here. Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I didn't even realize it, but I'm wearing kind of Detroit Lions gray here, man. American Football Network, what is up, brother, man? Hey, man, picked a good show to tune into. I'm going to give you my Super Bowl pick. I'm going to go over some prop bets, and I did make a prop bet. I do have a prop bet. By the way, just full disclosure, for my prop bet, it's not it's more emotional. And you can't get the same prop bet. I'll go over some detail on that. But I do have one prop bet and I have one Super Bowl bet. And I'll kind of go over some of the prop bet action with you. Now, just prop bet 101. If you like an under, you wait as late as you can and get the under. If you took an over, you want to get it fast. I picked an over, and it's already gone way up. And I'll go over that in a little more detail. But yeah, if you pick an over, you should have already done it. If you like an under, wait as late as you can. Wait as late as you can. If you're doing off-sea betting, like for example, my bookie, don't wait till 10 minutes for kickoff. A lot of times the servers get messed up. So do it like a couple hours in advance, just so you know. I would also recommend, if you do it at a casino, don't wait till kickoff to make that bet. So, go ahead. Jimmy, yes, I'm jacked up for the Super Bowl, man. I'm jacked up. I'm actually really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. Just real fast on the Hall of Fame. Everybody who got voted in deserved to get in. Let's just be very clear. 2 gleaming omissions. I thought Andre Johnson was a lock. I'm floored he didn't get in. He will get in. Forget numbers, forget stats. If you ever watch him play, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't get it. And then Zach Thomas deserves to get in. I get why Vermeil got in. I forget why Vermeil got in. I get it. I'm not sure I would call him a Hall of Famer. Somebody for Denver sports media put in Shanahan should be in. And normally when you do that, I don't like it. But to tell you the truth, I would put Shanahan in before Vermeil. But I don't hate it. Cliff Branch should have been in a long time ago. Zach Thomas should have been in a long time ago. He'll get in very soon, if not next year. And then Andre Johnson, I have no idea. So anyway, it's a cool picture, man. I really like it. I don't like how every team wants to have like a black jersey. I know the Washington Commanders have a black jersey. I don't like that, but that's cool, man. That is cool. Jimmy says he's got all that smart. Yeah, I got to play. It's more sentimental than logical. I'll go over that. Funk, Stafford over 1.5 touchdowns, had to take it. I like that bet. I like that bet because I think that there could be a long touchdown, but I think like in a short yardage situation, I could see them passing instead of running. That's kind of the way their offense is set up. So I like it. I like it. You know the deal, man. That I don't remember you being on here before. So, man, welcome, brother. That's freaking awesome. Don't forget to hit subscribe, man, if you don't mind. And give me a thumbs up. I'm going to ask for a thumbs up early. Easy money, Joe Burrow over 12.5 yards rushing. We'll break one off of pressure. Let's go. You know what? I like that. I like that too. And I'll go into some more detail. But just, okay, I'll start now. I like a lot of these rushing bets. I like Joe Burrow. I also like Stafford too. So my bookie the other day, hopefully used my referral. I don't think I put one, but I did have on a lot of my videos referral link, whether you did or whether you didn't. But I'm glad you did, and I will be pulling for you. American Football Network, my picks out tomorrow. I have some props I would take, but I'm only 15, so I can't bet. I did not know you were 15. I have a little disclosure. You have to be over 18 to be on the show, but I won't tell. It's okay. But I had no idea. I'm slightly older than you. And I say a lot of off-color things. So, but hey, listen, just because you're 15 doesn't mean you don't have knowledge. Don't buy one of those Detroit Rams. I've not heard of those. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I don't like the Commanders black. I really don't. I don't like it. But I actually kind of like the Commanders. I kind of like that. I kind of like it, to be honest. And I like all the jerseys. I like all of them except for the black. Jimmy and I were laughing at them so hard to see a Stafford jersey on the left side was the Lions, Rams on the right. So crazy. I bet. Yeah, somebody. Yeah. I'm going to go over some of the prop bets first. Okay. There's a few I like, but I'll be honest with you. There are some opportunities on the receiving end to take the under. For example, Cooper Kupp, 108.5. Now I'm using my bookie. So, and I get why the number is 108.5. I get it. But if the Bengals if they stop anybody, they're probably going to go ahead and stop Kupp, which the Odell Beckham number, 65.5, I kind of like. Tyler Boyd, 42.5. I think he could have a really big game. But I'm going to be honest with you, these receiving numbers, Jamar Chase, it's 80.5. I get why that's probably going to go up. But a lot of these receiving numbers are enticing. A lot of these, I would recommend taking the under. A lot of these I'd like taken under. A few that stand out. Tyler Boyd, though, at 42.5. I do like the over on Tyler Boyd. I think he's going to have a big game. With Cooper Kupp at 108.5, you may want to take the under because that's going to jump up. They'll probably hit 110 right before kickoff. Take the under. Take the under. Jamar Chase at 80.5. T. Higgins, 72.5. Chase, I get. T. Higgins, I would probably go with the under. A lot of these receiving numbers, I really like the under. And let me tell you something. There's Super Bowl prop bets are really not good to take because everybody wants to put action on them. You really should make money on prop bets during the year. But if you've been watching my show, I've been terrible on prop bets. But I do got one. I mean, plus 108 is hard to bet. But yeah, Funk, I agree with you 100%. I actually think that with Cooper Kupp, I would probably go with the under on that one. But Boyd, I like that number. I really think Boyd's going to have a big game. I like Boyd to have a big game. I got Flyer on a TD trifecta parlay, Kupp, OBJ, and Jefferson. Oh boy, okay. So you're banking on 3 touchdown passes. I would parlay that. Funk had Stafford over 1.5. So, I would if you said you already got him down, you may want to consider a Stafford touchdown over in that case. So, man, I get OBJ. I think they're paying a lot of attention to Kupp, so I like the Jefferson. Man, that's a tough one, man. If you don't mind, what number did you get on that TD? Oh, okay, took them. Okay. Let me know what number you got. Chase at 80 is another tough bet. Not knowing if Ramsey will be on them or Higgins, hard to bet either of them too. Exactly. And for these receiving numbers, Boyd's the only one that I really like the over, and I like Boyd at 42. The rest of these, I think that Vegas is going to make a lot of money on the overs, especially on Kupp. But I'm letting you know right now, I really like the under on a lot of these. I really like the under on a lot of these. Took them all individually, taking Usmanzada TD as well. Usmanzada, that's a tough one. Because he's really banged up. Denver Gator, what's up, brother? Tails never fails. You know what? On my bookie, it doesn't have that option. I would definitely take tails. One Pride. I'm glad you're okay, brother. I'm glad to hear from you. Okay. Think of it. It does. Okay. TD. Okay. It doesn't have to. Okay. That's a good. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Those are. When you say TD though, Kupp and Jefferson aren't really known for running. Hopefully, I'm pulling for you. Don't get me wrong, I'm pulling for you. But give me longest TD under 42.5 defense when you get burned in a big game. That's a very smart bet. I was just going with the player props. That's a very good one. You know the deal. I actually like that one. I didn't even touch base on that, so I'm not going to pretend like I knew that. That's a great one. I would definitely take action on that one. That's a smart one. So, do you think Boyd's going to have it too? Yeah, exactly. Okay, Funk says I think Boyd's going to have to. I think they'll switch Ramsey between Chase and Higgins and bracket the other guy. You're right, and that's why I like Boyd. Boyd is the more. He's only 25, but he's the most experienced receiver. He's somebody that's had some really big seasons, and then he's kind of been like favored. With Chase coming into his own, he's kind of been pushed to the side, but he's still really like he's really their number 2 receiver. Even though he's a slot guy, 42 is a good number. I parlayed it with Rams, got -4, got 10,000. I will pull for you, but I'll get that in a second. Denver heads are Gotta go out and bank for the Super Bowl, just a small. Okay, good. Do they have Jesse Bates over under on a pickup yet? You know what? I thought they did. I don't have that though, and I don't have that yet. I was positive they did though. Could be a special here. Hold on here, and I didn't look at that because I have something different. No, you know what? No, they don't. There is an interception for Stafford. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. They do. Jesse Bates interceptions is 0.5, so he gets one. It's at plus 500. Plus 500. So yeah, plus 500. Are you putting action on that? I would not, but plus 500 is a very solid number. Plus 500 is a very solid number. Malik Wilson. I like betting under points in the first quarter. Teams like that's the deal, knows his prop bets, man. I'm glad you joined, and I hope that you joined during the off season. I hope you're a draft fan, and we will have a lot of stuff going on. All right. There are some really good rushing numbers here, and I like a lot of these. Full disclosure, my prop bet is a rushing bet that you can no longer get. It's not a logical pick. It's more of an emotional pick. I have Samjay P. Ryan over 2.5 rushing yards. Over 2.5. It's now 3.5. So if you want to get P. Ryan over, you have to take over 3.5. I got at, I think I got at negative 114. I don't have the number here. I thought I did. Okay, it's not giving me the number, but I got Samry P. Ryan over 2.5. Now, he didn't have a rushing attempt in the 2 playoff games. So why am I taking him here? It's an emotional bet. Keep in mind, Mixon is injured any part of the game. I'm going to win this. I think he's going to get a carry. Now, his receiving number is over 10.5, but his rushing, I got 2.5. It's now 3.5. I don't recommend 3.5. I do like 2.5. I think he's going to get at least 1 carry. Keep in mind, Mixon gets hurt at all, I win this bet. Now, he didn't have a carry in either of the last 2 playoff games, but he is a Bengals favorite. He's really well respected. I think he gets at least 1 carry. So that's why I got P. Ryan 2.5. But there are some really good rushing numbers. Joe Mixon, this has gone up quite a bit. I'm not joking. This was at 58 or 56 not too long ago. It's now 60.5. It was 58, which I really like. Now it's at 60. I would totally pass. Joe Burrow is 12.5. I really like Burrow. I think Burrow will definitely get it. Stafford's 5.5, and I kind of like that. Cam Akers, 64.5. I do like that, but not very much. And then Sony Michel's 19.5. To be honest with you, it's kind of a question mark because I think Akers is going to play a lot. But this is a tough. Both these teams have good front sevens, good defenses. So, but out of the prop bets, I like the rushing numbers a lot more than the passing numbers. Like I said, P. Ryan's now 3.5, which I really don't recommend, but I loved. I love 2.5. I liked him at Oklahoma. Goal to go spots, I could see him getting a 1 or 2 carries. Mixon has any injury whatsoever, I will win this bet. All right. What's the over-under for Bengals sacks allowed? Vaughn 2, Donald 1.5. Let's see here. Let me see. Aaron Donald over a half a sack will be a negative 233. Von Miller is negative 185 for a half. So that's what you're looking at. Two really not good numbers. Your choice if you want to take them. Red Sea, welcome, brother. Since I've returned to bowling, hey man, good luck bowling tonight. Good luck bowling tonight. I won't be here next week, but I'll explain why. But I'll be back. I'm taking next Friday off. So, what's that number on Stafford at right now? I'm taking the Bates 0.5. It's time to have a little fun, I guess. Hey, that's what Super Bowl's all about. I always try to, make a profit. This year, I did not make a profit. And also, I've been terrible on prop bets, but I do like the P. Ryan bet. What's that number on Stafford? Which number are you referring to? If you're looking for Stafford touchdowns, right now, the number my bookie's given me is over 2.5 is a plus 140. So you would need to have 3 touchdowns. So, Red Sea Lord. Yeah. What's up, Red? What's going on with your squad right now, bud? Did Mahomes lose that game or did Andy Reid lose that game? I think Reid did. Man, you have to hit me below the belt. Here's what I think. The Bengals have a smaller front seven. I would have liked to see the Chiefs run the ball more, but it's never been Andy Reid style. Orlando Brown, the left tackle, Pro Bowl left tackle, just struggles against faster, smaller defensive ends and in pass protection. And he struggled. Trey Hendrickson had a good game. So did Sam Hubbard. He outweighs both these guys are smaller defensive ends. So, he had a 70 to 80 pound weight advantage and, use that size, run the ball. That's one of the few times I wish that Marty Ball would have been around in the playoffs. But they run the ball, they control the clock, they win that game. I blame more Reid than Mahomes. They should just ran the ball. But bottom line, if you're up 21-3, you should win. But in 2006 AFC Championship game, the Patriots are up 21-3, and they lost. So. Probably I think Mahomes got in his own head the way half-ended. Kid didn't look the same after that. Definitely didn't. Sonny Michel touchdown, great value as experience utilized in the red zone. That is not bad at all. I don't have that one listed. Hold on, I'll figure it out here. Rushing touchdowns. Okay. Sonny Michel rushing touchdowns, plus 300. That's not bad. It seems like Campbell has a man crush on MSU fullback Connor Hayward. He probably will have a lot of man crushes. He's one of the coaches, I believe, for the Senior Bowl. So, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those players end up being coached. Stafford TD, rushing TD for plus 700 would be a fun one. He's done it twice in the playoffs, already on the goal line. I do like that. But if you went ahead and you got 3 passing touchdowns, I don't know if I would take that as well. Hopefully, for your sake, hopefully he's throwing touchdowns. Denver Gator says, one pride I watched Senior Bowl. MCDC loves Hayward. Can't remember the nickname he gave him, Mini Ironhead, after his dad. That I agree on. Dan, I gave myself an allowance from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, so I'm up a little. So even if I lose all my bets this weekend, I still have enough for next year's bet. All right, that's awesome. And I didn't go into detail on bets and betting bankroll and stuff like that. I think I might do like a free ebook this summer. We'll have to kind of see. But I'm glad about that. Hey, I'm all for it with him. Love to keep the Spartan home. Yeah, and we're gonna do a lot of draft stuff. I was throwing out there. You got anything on Chase or Burrow? No, I do not. I got one on P Ryan, and that's it. And my Super Bowl bet. My Super Bowl bet is, by the way, my number's different. You cannot get this number anymore. Right now, the Bengals are a 4.5-point dog. All right, 4.5-point dog. I took the Bengals money line at plus 160. I took the Bengals to win outright. I didn't take the 4.5. I have an outright win. I got plus 160. And I'm going to go a step further. I think the Bengals are going to start a dynasty. I think this is going to be the team of the 20s. I think the Bengals are going to be – there's a lot of similarities between – I said this last week. I think that there's a similarity between the Bengals and the 1981 49ers. And if you look at the history of the NFL, the Bengals look like a dynasty. I don't think they're just going to win this Super Bowl. I think they're going to win multiple Super Bowls this decade. I think this is the team of the 20s. They're building something. The Bengals are just building something special. I mean, they got talent all over the field, and it's young. Both sides of the ball. I think the Bengals win this game, and I think that they're building something. I think that this is going to be a team that's built to win multiple Super Bowls. With the Rams, you can build a team like this. You can trade your picks. You can go through free agency. You can trade your picks. You can go all in. But most of the time, it really doesn't work. I know Tampa Bay, they signed Brady, but they had a really, really, really good team. They had a really good defense. They had some superstar receivers. They built a really good offensive line. And this is a solid team. I think they'll be a solid team next year, and I'll talk about that when I start breaking down the teams. But when I look at the 81 Niners, Joe Montana in year 2. They signed Ronnie Lott and Eric Wright as rookies. And I know that comparing Jamar Chase to Ronnie Lott is a little crazy, but I mean, this is a guy in the 80s. Corner was more important than receiver. Well, in today's game, wide receiver is more important. And it was a risky pick. A lot of people blasted the Bengals for not taking Sewell, who the Lions took in the next pick. I think the Bengals win this game. I think that they're going to win multiple Super Bowls. I think the Rams, after this year, they're in cap hell. They know this is kind of a one-time deal, and it could be desperation. And I understand the best player on the field may be Aaron Donald. I could also argue the best player may be Cooper Kupp. But one thing I'll say about this Bengals team, man, is Burrow reminds me of Joe Montana. The impact Jamar Chase has had is very similar to the same type of impact Ronnie Lott had on that 81 Niners team. And the NFL has runs like this. If you go back in history, the way the Bengals are built is the way teams build dynasties. The Patriots dynasty kick-started by putting a young quarterback. I know it wasn't technically his second year. I think it was his third year. But Brady was one of the youngest quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. The Cowboys, they drafted a quarterback, the first overall pick. It took 3 years. And Michael Irvin also got injured, but he came back. A lot of young draft picks on defense. To me, the Bengals kind of fit the mold of what a dynasty is built like. So, yeah, I got plus 160. I didn't take 4.5. I might put action on 4.5 just to hedge my bet because I do think it's going to be a close game. But, yeah, I like the Bengals. And my prop bet is P. Ryan at 2.5. It's now 3.5. So, yeah. Yeah, that's why we're on opposite ends here. Because I probably should have been smarter, and I probably should have put the 4.5. But I wanted to go big. I really think the Bengals are going to win this game. I really do. So, One Pride says Rams, please. American Football Network is back. Bengals 2.5. Walk-off field goal at the end. Well, where are you getting negative 2.5 though? Bengals on the money line, nicely. Exactly. I think this year is a 3-year peak, and people are wanting to. Absolutely. Listen, when Burrow gets his big contract, and it's just a matter of time, then you got to pay Jamar Chase. Well, what else are you going to do? I mean, you can't really. You got to spend a lot of money on those two pieces. Got to spend a lot of money. I mean, the Chiefs, they're not in a good situation now. They gave a lot of money to Hill. They gave a lot of money to Kelsey. They gave $500 million to Mahomes, which is actually a team-friendly deal, believe it or not. And, yeah, it's good. And now they have to figure out how to get Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark. Both players were key pieces to get into an AFC championship game. So, but I think the Bengals are going to win multiple Super Bowls this decade. He says, what about the Lions? I mean, well, okay. What about the Lions? As far as the Lions are concerned, and I mean, I kind of want to stick to Super Bowl, but just real fast. I mean, Dan Campbell is a coach who's on the hottest of hot seats. He's must win over 3 games. I don't know the number. I would say anything over 7 guarantees he'll be back for another year. If that's what you mean. So, I had the Rams. I think the Bengals are 1 year early. They've kind of gotten some lucky breaks, and while the Rams haven't been dominant, I think with them having this super team, I think the Rams will win. In the past, teams that have done this haven't really, the exception would be Denver because they signed some defensive players. They signed Manning, but remember that first year when they signed Manning, it didn't work out. They had that great offense, and then they had to have a great defense. Teams that usually make a bunch of free agent acquisitions usually don't win. I mean, traditionally, teams that have built their team through the draft have traditionally won games. I mean, the way the Bengals are built is pretty much the way the 80s Niners are built, and the same way the 90s Cowboys, the same way the Patriots over the last 2 decades were built. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. It's not the same thing with the Rams. So that's the way I see it. 31-27. The over-under is 48.5. So this would definitely – I didn't even think about it, but the over on this game is pretty solid. So give me Rams. Rams. Oh, you got the Rams covering. So I agree about the Bengals' future, though. Yeah. The future, I really do. I think this is going to be a team of the 20s. I think the Bengals are building the team of the 20s. I originally thought it was going to be my Chiefs. Now I think it's going to be the Bengals. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can between now and the start of next season to pump myself up that the Chiefs aren't done. But yeah, I'll definitely be cheering for the Bengals. Well, I hope so, just not because of my bet. But the Cowboys are built on the back of one amazing trade. They were, and that's how they got a lot of those pieces. But they had Aikman. Then, actually, it was Michael Irvin first. And I think a lot of people underestimate how important Michael Irvin is. He was there and he missed, I think his rookie year, he tore his ACL, if I remember correctly. And then they had Aikman, and then they drafted Walsh. And then they also, then they brought in Emmitt Smith. And then the next year they won a Super Bowl, if I got my history right. Bengals deserve a lot of credit finding ways to win games this postseason, but they gave up 9 sacks against the Raiders, and Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Boyd are going to have a field day. I get that. However, they had a field day. The Tennessee defensive line had a field day. They won. Kansas City was up 21-3 with really Chris Jones and Frank Clark, and they found a way. And here's another thing you got to think about is that the offensive line for the Rams is banged up, and Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard are pretty damn good players that nobody's talking about. Everybody knows about Von Miller. Everybody knows about Aaron Donald. Not too many people know about Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. These are really good offensive linemen. And the offensive line for the Rams is not 100%. That's what I think that's overlooked on this game is how good this Bengals defense is. Listen, everybody knew that the Chiefs were up 21-3 at one point, and that Bengals defense shut them down to 3 points. I'm telling you this right now, Chiefs got better offense than the Rams. The Chiefs have a better offense than the Rams. Second half, they held them to 3 points in overtime. The Chiefs won the coin flip. That should have been game over. But the Bengals defense made plays, man. The Bengals defense is a lot better than people give them credit for. Nobody's talking about. Similar to Detroit. The Bengals are similar to Detroit, or the Rams are. When they solidified O-line, Bengals are unstoppable. That they're going to spend a lot of time doing that in the offseason. Problem comes when they have to pay Higgins and Boyd because they can cheap. Yeah, I think Boyd may be gone after this year. I have to double check, but I think Boyd will be gone after this year, and then Higgins might also have to be gone. But I mean, you're going to keep Burrow and you're going to keep Chase, and then from there you don't really know. Make more on giving points versus money line on the Bengals can stretch points for higher payout. Great content. Hit the like. And man, thank you. Normally in a situation like this, I would just take the 4.5. I like the Bengals to win this game though. I like the Bengals to win this game. Right now it's plus 155. I got plus 160. I really think the Bengals got something special. I really do. So, man, thanks. You know the deal. I appreciate it, brother. I really hope that after the Super Bowl, you come back. I hope that you're a draft fan. We're going to do a lot of draft stuff here. Burrow going to get 50 when it's time to pay him. Higgins going to get around 14. Boyd should get around 7. Chase is going to be over 20. I don't think they – matter of fact, if I remember right, they think they signed Boyd. I think he got more than 7. I think he got a bigger contract. Higgins is going to want more than 14. He'll want more than 14. Remember, he went to the Jets. 38 minutes, and I forgot his name. Number 5 pick overall from Western Michigan, Corey Davis. Remember, Corey Davis got a 3-year, $50 million deal from the Jets, and Higgins is going to get more than that. Yeah, but you're right about Burrow. Burrow's, by the way, you think he's going to get 50? I don't think he's going to get 50 at all. He's going to get like 60 or 70. You said 50, and you're probably thinking high. I'm thinking that's way low. Did you? By the way, Corey, if you're listening, you told me that Kyler Murray would get a discount. He's asking for over 55. No, Burrow. There's no way the Bengals are going to get off paying Burrow only 50. Burrow's probably going to get like 70 or 75. I'm not joking. When I say this. Don't be surprised if Burrow gets something like 6 years, $500 million. I mean, whatever that is. Yeah. I'm not joking. It could be 60. It could be a 6-year, $500 million deal. Burrow 50 is a low ball number. Chase is going to be over 20, and then those other two, bump those up. So that I don't think Boyd's going to be around long term. I think Boyd will be gone, and I'm not sure they keep Higgins. But Higgins will get more than 14. I'm taking that. You know what? I am too. I should put action on the over. It's 48.5. I don't know why. You know what? The NFL Network did top 10 Cowboys, and Michael Irvin was number 3. And I was really, really surprised that he was over Aikman and Emmitt Smith. And I was really surprised about that. But I think that out of the 3, Michael Irvin was the best one. I really believe that. I don't say this a lot. Jerry Rice, if he got 11 catches, 185 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a loss, he was happier than 1 catch and 4 yards in a win. Not Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, I think, legitimately cared about winning more than he cared about his stats. If seriously, if it was like Earth versus the Klingons for world supremacy, give me Michael Irvin on that team. I don't think people realize what a dominant, talented dude Michael Irvin was. And I mean, just anyway, I kind of went on a rant there. But yeah, absolute beast, 100% correct. Thinking about now, I think the Bengals are going to win by 3 or 7, or they will lose by well, you got everything there. I forgot you're on, man. Well, James, I'm here, brother. I'm here. That's why Stafford is key. He played Detroit for a decade, knows how to play behind the shitty. I was talking about the Cowboys. Okay, the Lions, Cowboys reference. Well, I get that. I mean, you traded Stafford, you got a bunch of picks. I get that. And that's how you think. Well, they actually got a lot more picks. And then there was a lot of conditional picks that the Vikings, at the time, the Vikings thought that they would take the players over the picks. And the plan was Dallas was going to take the picks over the players. And so it's kind of misleading. It's really not the same thing. It's really not. But as far as building your team through the draft, that's an old school way of doing things. And because the Lions hit on every one of their draft picks, except for Uzurike, which I think will have a much bigger impact this year, that's why the Lions – there should be no way the Lions should be a 3-win team next year, barring massive injuries. That's why I said that if the Lions are a 3-win team next year, Campbell will be gone, because this is a team that hit on all their draft picks except for Uzurike, which I think will play a lot better. And then you have so many draft picks, and I mean, normally you hit on less than half of your draft picks. And the Lions had a clean sweep. Don't expect a clean sweep this draft. If they do, then you may surprise and make the playoffs. So Jimmy says, I grant you about your point about the Bengals defense. They've been lights out. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people overlook the Bengals defense, but Trey Hendrickson really added something. But this defense is really, really good. I mean, a lot of people don't get it, but when you think about the Bengals, you think about Burrow, and you think about Chase, and you think about Higgins and Boyd, and I get that. Joe Mixon's, a really good running back. But this defense is lights out. This defense has a lot of playmakers, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and they should. But this defense is young. This defense is athletic. This defense can get after the passer. And the Rams' offensive line's not at 100%. Now, the Bengals' offensive line has been ridiculed, and we've talked about that in extensive detail. But, I mean, you want a dark horse for MVP? What about Trey Hendrickson? What if he gets 2.5 sacks and a strip sack fumble or something like that? I mean, could he win MVP? He's been playing lights out, man. Just hoping refs don't play in the bowl. Let them play. I know in the AFC Championship game they did. I think they did in the NFC playoffs too. So hopefully, I want to see them play. I don't want to go into detail about last year's game, but I'm with you, and you know the deal. So Hatter's House 710, man. Welcome, brother, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Lions fan rooting for Stafford. Go out there and win the whole damn thing. I think that's awesome. I got money on the Bengals, but I think it's awesome that Lions fans are cheering for Stafford. And I've said this many times, not just because you guys are on my show, but Lions fans are awesome. I'm going to tell you this right now. Lions fans are head and shoulders better than Chiefs fans. That's not saying a lot, but you seriously, Lions fans, I'm not going to call myself a Lions fan, but man, I really like it when they win. So Rams secondary is also terrible. Jalen Ramsey is the only player above average in that secondary. That's another thing that people are not paying attention to, is that the Rams secondary is banged up. I mean, you're going to see a lot of 4 or 5 wide receiver sets, and that's kind of why I also like Boyd over 42, is that you're going to see a lot of 4 or 5 wide receiver sets. And Burrow's not afraid to get hit. I mean, he there's something special about this kid. Now, look, let's just say Burrow wins MVP, wins Super Bowl and everything. Is he as good as Mahomes? Not yet. But, I mean, there is something really special about the kid. Burrows plays like he did against Mahomes should be really good. I think he will. I think he's going to have a good game. There's something special about the kid. Bunch of new people in the chat tonight. Yeah, I know, man. Isn't it? I'm glad. I want to say that the show's growing, but yeah. American football. Give some love up, Denver Gator. By the way, for those of you that are new, all my social media links should be in the description, and then you can always email me. But do follow me on any one of the social media platforms. So whoever's making the Detroit Rant t-shirt, I have not seen any, but yes. Man. American Football Network. I like his stuff. I had no idea he was only 15, man. God, I kind of feel like I need to watch my language here. But listen, American Football Network, even though you're young, man, it's an adult channel. I put distinctively on here over 18. So you hear some stuff, you know, hey man, you're running with the big boys. Running with big boys. I don't think of that high. That would be $83 million a year. And he's referring to my 6-year, $500 million deal. Yes, it could. I'm going to tell you something. Every year it goes up. I mean, like almost 10%. And Mahomes set the bar at $500 million. The next big contract, well, now Josh Allen signed a 6-year, I think it was $256. But the next big contract's Kyler Murray, and he already said he wants at least 55. All right, he says he wants at least 55, and that's the next one. All right, Burrow's under contract now. I think it's another 3 years because you're going to do that 5th-year extension. Yeah, it could be 80 to 85. Look, the Bengals haven't been in the playoffs in 31 years. He wins a Super Bowl, first ever Super Bowl. Ohio is a football state. He can ask for whatever he wants, and you have to give it to him. You have to give it to him. If he wants 6 years, $500 million, they will give it to him. You could be right on the 70. I was going low end on the numbers, so seriously, try to keep all 4 of them together. Yeah, I think that there's no way you keep them all together, and I think Higgins will want some more money. I think Boyd will probably bounce. Just my opinion, because I think that I think there'll be a team that'll say, "Hey, you're worth, 10 to 12 million a year," and the Bengals will try to lowball them. So. All right, American Football Network, man. Thanks, brother. Good night, bro. Levi wasn't bad this year ago. He's just 3rd guy in the rotation. No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, he was 36th, 37th pick in the draft, high 2nd round pick. Didn't really contribute as much as they wanted, but when you hit on all your draft picks, that's really rare. Usually if you hit 50%, you're doing well. And so the draft was phenomenal. The Lions had an A draft. I give them an A-, but they had some late round picks ended up being starters. I mean, that's a great draft. And if you had that same type of draft this year, you could be looking at a playoff team. You really could. You need some help in free agency. But yeah. But yeah, Dorsey and Holmes seems like a perfect. They do. They really do. I actually thought Dorsey would end up with that Detroit job. Remember, I called it a couple of years ago. I called Dorsey and Bieniemy, and yeah. The refs seem if the Bengals refs seem to let the Bengals play even after a whistle. In the AFC Championship game, I thought the refs let both teams play, and I thought it was pretty damn good officiating. The Bengals are a feisty bunch, but one thing about the Bengals, they're the least penalized team in the National Football League, which is really impressive. They're a smart, athletic bunch. So, man, the Rams win by 1. You know what? The Rams could win by 3. And that's probably why I should put the Bengals at 4.5. But I'm telling you right now, I really think that this is going to be the team of the 20s. This is, to me, a dynasty team. It really is. I keep on saying the same thing, but this team reminds me of the 81 Niners. If you follow, they drafted Montana in round 3. That year in 1980, I don't have the stats pulled up. I think they were a 5-11 team. And then they drafted in the first and second round. They drafted Ronnie Lott and Eric Wright. They drafted a pair of corners. Both made a Pro Bowl their rookie year. Both of them played lights out as rookies. And at the time, corner was a more important position than receiver because teams were more focused on defense. And then another thing that stands out is that they beat the Cowboys, who were going to their 3rd consecutive NFC Championship game. The Chiefs are they were hosting their 4th straight. So there's some similarities there. And then, an overtime game versus the catch. I mean, the catch was, an all-time monumental moment in NFL history. Well, beating Mahomes at Arrowhead in overtimes is also a big deal. I just look at the way NFL dynasties are built, and the Bengals have all of those characteristics. I really believe the Bengals just have everything going their way. I just think that they're going to win this game. But I'm hopeful. Hopefully, you can hit on all your prop bets, and I can hit on my prop bet, and I can hit on the Bengals, and we both win. So, Bengals had that TD on the Raiders game when the whistle was blown. Okay. It was like a fan whistle or something like that. And so, I mean, I don't really count that. It was like nobody really stopped. It didn't really affect anything. So if we hit on our first 5 picks all in the first 2 days, Lions could be in the playoffs next year. Like, seriously. No, you're actually right. You're actually right. Because if you get 5 starters and 2 of them are big time impactful players. I mean, with the number 2 pick in the draft, you could get an elite Pro Bowl type player day one. If it sounds crazy, look at the 49ers. 49ers had the 2nd pick in the draft, and next year they went to the Super Bowl. They went from 4 wins to 13 wins. That was Nick Bosa. I mean, 97, tall white guy. It could have that much of an impact. It really could. It really could. I'm just, I know you like Hamilton. I like Hutchinson, but I mean, seriously, free agency, stud players in the draft. Yeah, you absolutely could be. It's not as crazy as you think. Which team out of the loudest fans? Which shows up back their team? Well, it's played in L.A. I mean, you're playing in LA. I mean, it should be the Rams, but you never know. I mean, these Bengals fans are nuts, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had to unfollow a lot of Bengals sports media up to when they were playing the Chiefs, just because, like, I mean, they could. I mean, I'm not a grammar Nazi, but I mean, it's really bad I mean, a lot of these guys weren't making any sense. So, I mean, these Bengals fans are nuts, man. I mean, look, Ohio's a bigger football state than California. That's a no-brainer. And these Bengals fans, I mean, they're going to be nuts, man. I know it's in LA, but the Bengals are going to represent. It should be LA, but I think it's really going to be split almost in half. I hate how the catch is the only part of the game that ever gets talked about. It was a great game. It was a great game. It was a great moment. It was a great moment. But yeah, there was a lot of things. Everson Walls, who was covering Dwight Clark, had a pair of interceptions. There was like 50-some seconds left in the game. Danny White was driving and threw a pick. That doesn't get talked about. I can't even think of who ended that game. I don't know who made the pick. I have no clue. Great game. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Funky Lions fan, the Lions schedule next week is very favorable. 10-7 is more infeasible than it's been since Caldwell. We're going to talk about that quite a bit, but yeah, if you hit on your draft picks and you get some free agents, yeah, because this team here's the thing about the Lions. They played hard. They got better as the year went on, and I think they easily had the least talented team in the NFL. I was really shocked that they didn't add more talent to the team before it started. I really thought they would do more. I know Dorsey did a lot more with the Chiefs when he took over the Chiefs, and I really thought he would do the same thing, and he didn't. And so you had without question, I don't even think there's a doubt that you guys had easily the least talented team in football, but you always played hard. So let's just say you have the 19th most talented team. That should get you to like 7 or 8. And then let's just say you hit on your picks just like you did this year. Then yeah, you could do something really good. I mean, by the way, Sewell, you kind of moved them around a little bit. Decker plays, that he plays the whole season on the left. Sewell could be a Pro Bowler on the right. Ozarike could really develop. McNeil had a good season. You got a starter in the 4th round, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. You had Barnes in the 4th round, played solid. I mean, if these guys get better, DeAndre Swift, I still wanted him in Kansas City. I've been adamant about that. I think you have a superstar, but you're not using him right. Hopefully your new offensive coordinator. By the way, I'm not a fan of your new offensive coordinator. I think you should have got somebody from outside organization, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, there's some good things going on. Right now, I'm leaning towards Hamilton at 2 and McVay at 32 or 34. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, how I hated Caldwell. I'd called him a goal line and a 4th down stop. One free agency I really want is Harold Landry. Dan, they can't afford to do anything else. Harold Landry is one of the players I have a massive, massive, massive man crush on. I love Harold Landry. I love his game, and I know that Tennessee's going to do everything they can to keep him in Tennessee. But if I was a Detroit Lions fan, I would want Harold Landry. He is a guy that I absolutely love his game. He does everything well. He's not an elite pass rusher, but he had some really, really good games. Just stuffs to run, high motor, which is kind of a Dan Campbell trait. I really think that he's a guy Tennessee's going to focus on keeping. He's not going to be cheap. He's not going to be cheap. So Jonah Jackson was a Pro Bowl right guard. I mean, you could have multiple Pro Bowlers on that offensive line. You got Pro Bowl tight end. I mean, Swift, if you have a creative game plan, I mean, to be honest with you, Swift could be a poor man's Alvin Kamara. He shouldn't be a guy who should just be running between the tackles. I think he should be a guy who should be catching. 70 to 80 passes a season. I think you guys mismanaged him, and he still didn't do bad, but he's a guy you need to get outside the tackle box, let him play. He should be catching 70, 80 balls. You could have something really special in him. You get a stud number one wide receiver, and you got something good. I said this at the beginning of the season. This is going to be like the ground floor, and then you got some potential. I wouldn't be shooting for 10, but wait till what we see in free agency. We love Ben Johnson around here. Dude took over as pass game coordinator for like the last 6 games, when the Lions offense really looked creative. I didn't know that. And that's a good thing. Okay. Well, I would have preferred somebody outside, but I didn't realize he took over as pass game coordinator. And I have to admit that the offense kind of took an uptick, and that's what you need. You need some creativity because your offense was not that creative. So on Swift, the problem is that they really like Jamal Williams. I agree with you. He should the ball. Okay. Yeah, no, I like Jamal Williams too, but that's not a guy that I would give, 20 carries to. He's a guy who should get like, 5 to 10 a game. He should be like a guy you want to spell, play some, special teams, things like that. But Swift is not a guy that I want, carrying the ball between tackles 20 times a game. Get Swift on the outside, let him use his speed. I'm not saying he's injury prone or he's small or he can't handle it. I'm not saying any of those things, but I want him catching the ball in space. That's what I want. Get creative how you use them, because you guys got a weapon, but he really shouldn't have. The thing with Swift is that you want to have him around 300 touches. You really don't want him to have 20 to 25 touches a game. You really don't. You really want him to have like 15, 20. Yeah, when he took over, the league found out St. Brown was legit. Yeah, and by the way, I mean, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like him a lot, but this is not a number one. He's a solid 2 at best. Really, this is a guy that on a really good offense should be like a number 3. But if he's your number 2 wide receiver, you're in really good shape. And you have TJ Hawkinson, who's a pure tight end. Like Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, these are just big wide receivers, but TJ Hawkinson's a legitimate tight end. So if you have Hawkinson, who's a Pro Bowl caliber tight end, you have a number 1 receiver, Brown's your number 2 guy. And be honest, your leading receiver probably should be DeAndre Swift, but really he should get like 70 to 80 catches a season. You're not going to put him in a situation where he's going to have like 100 catches, but then your offense is really good because you have a good offensive line. And Jared Goff's not a bad quarterback. I know you guys aren't high on him, but he's really not a bad quarterback. Is he elite? No, far from it. But he can get you guys to the playoffs. Yeah, but Nazir Belkai. Yeah, exactly. I would say if he gets over 20, that's not a good thing. I think 15 to 20 a game is about where you want him at. I'd say 300 a season is where he should max out. Now, if you get into the playoffs and he has about 25, 30 touches, then yeah. So St. Brown can be a number 1 from the slot with Hawk if they draft a solid outside wide receiver like Pickens in second. I don't think that's that. I could be wrong, but I don't think. I think you're way too high on him. I think he's a solid 2. A solid 2, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like T. Higgins is a solid 2. Think Michael Thomas? No. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood that. When you said this, I thought you were comparing Amon-Ra St. Brown to Michael Thomas. That's not what you're saying at all. No, if you had a guy like Michael Thomas, if you had a guy like Michael Thomas on the outside be your number 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown would be a solid 2. If you think Amon-Ra St. Brown's a number 1 wide receiver, no. The only reason he really kind of stood out last year is because your receiving core was probably, I mean, actually, it was the worst wide receiving core in football. It was just god awful, and why nobody could see that in your organization was beyond me. I really thought they would add more pieces. You made a midseason acquisition. I forget who it was. I really liked, and then some of these guys just really aren't good players. But Amon-Ra St. Brown's a 2. Don't try to make him into a 1. You're just gonna you won't like it. It's what will end up being it. So no, I can marry Amon-Ra St. Brown to Hines Ward. Same body. Yeah, same body. But that's kind of it. I mean, Hines, I don't know. I mean, I know Hines, a lot of people love Hines Ward. You know, they made a rule after him. He's in the Hall of Fame. I remember his very last game at Georgia. He threw for 403. It was like 403 or 4. I think it was 403. He was a quarterback at Georgia. He actually, threw for over 400 yards in the Peach Bowl. I watched that game, and I was like, he's not an NFL quarterback, but, I mean, he moves around. I wonder if he can play receiver. The answer is yes, he can play receiver. Don't get your hopes up. Don't go into the off season thinking that you got Hines Ward, a clone of Hines Ward. Don't think that. Josh Reynolds, yeah, I like Josh Reynolds, and I thought you were going to do that before the season because that's what Dorsey did in Kansas City. Dorsey made like a ton of changes before the season and added a bunch of guys. Ended up being starters that were like from nowhere. It was really genius what he did in 2013, and I was really expecting more of that. That Josh Reynolds son, and that's a classic Dorsey move. So, all right, I promise it's not cocaine, but my nose is runny and stuffy. If you don't see Ward in him, you need to watch Claymore. He blocks gritty in anyone ever. I think your fandom's just gotten too much into it. Hines Ward's a Hall of Famer. Amon-Ra St. Brown's not number 1. All right. I hope I'm wrong. A 4th round draft pick playing like a Hall of Famer would be nice. John Stallworth was a 4th round player. Not that same type of build at all. Hines Ward, I think, I think he was a 4th round pick. But trying to make him out to be a Hall of Famer is a stretch. I'm telling you this right now. If Amon-Ra is your number 2 and you get a number 1, you got an offense, man. So Dan, Dorsey, and Holmes didn't have the money. Yeah, and I know. I know that, but the Chiefs found players from nowhere, and I thought the Lions would do the same thing, and they really didn't. Alex, dude, not a Texans fan, but I am floored that Andre Johnson did not get into the Hall of Fame. He was like I had him and Ware. I had as the 2 guys I thought were locks. I don't get it. If Andre Johnson played, in a big media market, he would already be in. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to write. You should be pissed. You should be pissed because he deserved it. I thought him and DeMarcus Ware should have been. Those are my 2 locks. And I don't get that. Now, that said, everybody who got in the Hall of Fame should have gotten in the Hall of Fame. The one guy I would have argued about would be Dick Vermeil. Cliff Branch should have been in years ago. I've been arguing for Cliff Branch for a very long time. Zach Thomas should have gotten in, but you should be pissed. Everybody in Houston should be pissed. Lovie Smith was hired as the head coach of the Houston Texans. Pep Hamilton will take up offensive coordinator mantle, as you know. Yeah, and both of these, I'm very high on both of these. Me and Alex have been talking or chatting back and forth on Twitter. I think the Houston Texans may surprise people If they make enough enough free agent acquisitions plus what I think they could do in the draft, don't be surprised if Houston Texans are a force next year. The Houston Texans could be very, very good. I don't. If you don't think Andre Johnson's a Hall of Famer, you just didn't watch him play. Lovey will not hire a D. Okay, by the way, let's touch base on this. Lovie Smith is going to be the defensive coordinator and head coach. This is not unheard of. Teams have done this before. I don't mind because he's experienced and he's done this before and he led Chicago to a Super Bowl. He did lose the Super Bowl, but he did lead them to a Super Bowl. And he did this the same way. So I don't have a problem with that. I know it's a Super Bowl Lions show. Just kidding. I'm interested in takes on new coaching hires, pros, cons, schemes. Okay. I don't have all 9 together. I'm high on Dennis Allen, but he got a raw deal because that's a team that really needs to be blown up. There's a lot of age, a lot of veterans. They don't have a quarterback. Alvin Kamara, who, for those of you who don't know, Alvin Kamara put a guy in hospital. I think he's out on bail now. I don't know what his penalty. He may miss the whole year. I don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. You got to find a quarterback. He got a bad deal because I think he should have been a head coach candidate in other places. I think the Giants interviewed him. He's probably going to be the scapegoat because he's in a bad situation because that's a team that's kind of gone all in the last couple of years. So that's a tough spot. And I think he's a good coach, and I think he's really going to be set up to fail. I'm pulling for him. I think he's set up to fail. I love Lovie Smith in Houston. I still think McDaniels is the number 1 hire. I think the Raiders really win this because you have McDaniels and the Patriots pro player personnel. I think that's the title that he has. Are working together. They're not going to try to recreate the Patriots way that a lot of other people have tried to do in the past. I also like the fact that your key components are set in Vegas already, and you got everything set in stone. You just got to add. Some pieces. You have your number 1 receiver. I call him a receiver, but he's a tight end. I know you got Waller as your number 1 receiver. You got a quarterback, you have left tackle, you get Dave Drescher, you got everything ready to go. Hackett in Denver is a very good hire. I think that there's a very good possibility Aaron Rodgers comes to Denver, and that would make, in my opinion, I would make Denver my Super Bowl favorite in the AFC over my Chiefs, which would be hard to say, but Denver's loaded. Chicago with Eberflus is very interesting, and that's going to be a tough one because he runs a completely different style of defense. And that you know what? Somebody hired the Bears defensive coordinator, and I forget who it is off the top of my head. That's an A+ hire. Him and Fangio really got along well. Also Denver hired the former Vikings offensive coordinator, Gary Kubiak's son. I think it's Clint Kubiak to be the quarterback's coach. Brilliant hire. So he's not even an offensive coordinator. But I think he'll be a head coach soon. So the Giants brought in the Chiefs quarterback coach to be their offensive coordinator. Brian Dable as a coach of the Giants, he's got a tough task ahead of him. So the team that did the best, I really think is the Raiders. I think that they just aced it. I really did, because you bring in a head coach and a general manager together that know each other, that are going to build a system around Derek Carr. They're not going to try to recreate the Patriots way. I really love it. I like Lovie Smith a lot. The one I don't like, and I'd say don't like, is Eberflus, because he runs a different style of defense. And he also said they're going to build the offense around Justin Fields. Well, great, but I don't know. He's not an offensive guy, and he's a first-year head coach on the defensive side, so that's a tough one. I'm not going to have a show next Friday, but after that, I'm going to break down kind of plus minuses for each team, and I'm going to break it down by East, North, South, West. I'm going to do 8 teams at a time, and I'm just going to kind of go over the plus minus, and I'll kind of go over that in a little more detail in 2 weeks from now. Yeah, I know they made some hires on the coaching staff. I really like what Houston did. I like Lovie Smith and the beard is sweet. The beard is sweet. Yeah. And we still don't. They brought in Perryman, Tyrell Williams, and Williams looks great for 16 snaps till Goff almost got him decapitated. Also, they brought in 3 undrafted free agents that had a shot. Yeah, they did that. Now in Kansas City, it worked. I remember they found a couple guys off the scrap heap that ended up being starters in 2013, and I was kind of hoping that you would do the same thing, but it didn't work out. Jerry, AJ, Evan Brown. Tess White, University of Howard, UQB, Grambling State OC, QB coach of the DC Descenders, XL, and S QB coach and assistant, QB coach and assistant. All right. Ted White. That's not okay. No. I was thinking that was the former West Virginia quarterback. I don't know who that guy is off the top of my head, but as far as the coaching hires are concerned, I think the Raiders really won out of the 9. The Bears, I think, really took the biggest risk. I don't have all the assistants down, but like I said, over after Super Bowl Sunday, I'm basically going to work through the draft. But I'll show you. I'm going to dive in, high break teams down. It's very simple. It's just plus minus. I take the team total. I forget what they do in the playoffs. Like the Bengals, for example, I'm going to look at the Bengals as a 10-7 team, not as hopefully the Super Bowl winners because I put money on them as a 10-7 team, and then I'll go plus or minus. And then I'll do the same thing for all 32 teams. And then as a hire or as a gain and lose free agents, I'll factor that into it. And then, of course, after the draft, I'm going to do a show, just a video, and then I'll give my draft grades, and I'll go into it. And then from May to July, usually what I've done in the past is after the 4th of July. Let me see here. 4th of July is on a Monday. So what I'll probably do is July 5th is when I'll start breaking back, start breaking down the teams into more detail. So Rams winning the Super Bowl. Bengals, in my opinion, you just don't have enough to beat them in LA. Slasher, what's up, brother? A little late. What's the thesis burnt out on my motor? Right in this thesis burnt out. My motor, who do you like, Dan? That's my official prediction. My heart wants to. Okay, well, I'll say it again. I put action on Cincinnati to win. Cincinnati's 4.5-point dog. I like Cincinnati to win. There's a lot of similarities between the 1981 49ers and this Bengals team. I think this Bengals team is built like a dynasty team. If you look back in the history of all the teams of the decades, the Packers of the 60s, the Steelers of the 70s, the Niners of the 80s, the Cowboys in the 90s, and then the 2000s and 2010 Patriots, there's a lot of similarities. You have a young quarterback that you build your team around, impactful rookies that play at a Pro Bowl level, and then you have young, innovative coaches. And this is every team that's been a dynasty has been built kind of the same way. And the Bengals are following that blueprint. I think the Bengals are not only going to win this Super Bowl, I think they're going to win multiple Super Bowls. I think we're looking at a decade of dominance from the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to be the dominant team in the 20s. I really do. I think Burrow and Chase, they had something special in college, maybe the greatest offense of all time in college football. I think they're bringing this. I think they're bringing it. I really do. It wouldn't overly surprise me because the Rams have the two non-best quarterbacks. I mean, you got Aaron Donald, who if Aaron Donald has another year or two the way he's been playing, actually, you know what? Today, right now, you could say Aaron Donald's maybe the greatest defensive lineman who ever lived. You could make that argument. You can make that argument today. I don't believe that, but he's in the argument. Aaron Donald's one of the greatest defensive linemen who ever lived. Von Miller is going to be in Canton someday. But the way that the dynasties are built in the history of the NFL is what the Bengals have been doing. I mean, you draft a quarterback, you get your Jamar Chase, you get a Pro Bowl caliber player, and this is what dynasties are like. So, but you got the Rams. A lot of people do. Most people on the show have the Rams. I really think that the Bengals are building a dynasty, and I bet them to win outright. I didn't take the points. I got them the money line. I got them winning outright. I like the Bengals too. They have a lot of similarities to the 2017-2018 Eagles as well. Young coach and QB, dominant front line. Still missing Joseph's side. Only problem they really have is their O-line. Not young coach. I'm sorry, just the coach that started coaching. No, he's actually very young. And that's another thing is that if you win 6 games in your first 2 years, that gets you fired on 29, maybe 30 other teams. But Mike Brown stayed with them. Mike Brown was patient. Mike Brown worked with them. For those of you that don't know, Mike Brown is the owner and general manager of the Bengals. And he's actually, I've always respected and liked the way he's built his team. There's no difference between the way the Bengals are run and the way the Steelers are run. They're basically run the same way. It's just that the Bengals have no Super Bowl wins as of today. And the Steelers, I got 6, I think. There's no difference. And then what Mike Brown did this offseason was a little unprecedented for Mike Brown. He got some big name free agents. He spent money on Trey Hendrickson. I wasn't sure about it. What did he do? He set a franchise record with sacks. He was huge in the AFC Championship game. Came up big. Came up really big. The Rams' offensive line's banged up. The Bengals have a young, really talented young defensive line. And the one thing that's constantly not talked about is how good that Bengals defense is. They kept the Kansas City Chiefs to 3 points in the second half and overtime. When the Chiefs won the coin flip, I'm like, okay, game. Chiefs going to win this. No, Bengals intercepted Mahomes, went down the field, kicked the winning field goal. But, seriously, if somebody said Bengals got to score a touchdown to win, I think they would have scored a touchdown. Oh, yeah, 10,000%. And Brown is smart for that. Zach Brown's extremely smart and patient coaching mind. Sometimes all it takes is the coach getting adjusted to where he is and the team takes off. Joe Burrow is also having an amazing season, so that definitely goes into play as well. If Apple wins a Super Bowl Cincy, I'm done. If the world ending if Eli Apple wins a ring as a starter. He's not a popular guy. He's been on several teams and he's burned out. I think if I remember right, in New York, he got in a fight with Landon Collins, who was team captain, one of my favorite players. I think they got in a fight. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is what you're going to see, man. I think you're going to see the Bengals win, and Eli Apple is starting, and I don't think he's a long-term answer in Cincinnati, but I mean, look, I mean, we've seen Super Bowl winners with with weirder starters. I mean, I kind of don't want to trash Super Bowl winners, but I mean, like Trent Dilfer, for example, he won Super Bowls quarterback. I mean, nothing against Trent Dilfer, but yeah. Oops, I meant Zach Taylor. Geez, but the guy Trey Hendrickson, he had 14 sacks, and no one bats an eye at it. And I mean, he set a franchise record. It was kind of funny because he was with the Saints first 3 years. They kept on trying to replace him, and then Davenport got hurt. Hendrickson had, I think it was 12 or 14 sacks his last year in the Saints, and he parlayed that into a free agent contract. I wasn't sure it was going to work. The Bengals rolled the dice. He set franchise record. Hendrickson played lights out in the AFC Championship game. The Bengals don't win that game without Hendrickson having a big game. And he's playing against a banged-up Rams line. It wouldn't – you want a dark horse for MVP? Trey Hendrickson. All right, sorry. In case you haven't noticed, I'm starting to sniffle. I have no idea why. I'm probably not getting a cold. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here in the next couple of minutes. Don't forget, on the way out, give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. For those of you that are new, just joined the show for the first time, man, I can't thank you enough. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. No show next Friday, but I will be back. And more than likely, I'm going to start off with the West, but I'm going to pick one of the divisions. We'll have 4 straight shows breaking down the divisions. Of course, I'll answer any and all of your questions. Starting March 7th, I will start with my draft videos. But basically, in 2 weeks, I'll start breaking down my how I break down the teams throughout the offseason, and then we'll dive kind of head. Well, we won't dive headfirst into the draft right away. I kind of want to wait till the combine, but of course, I'll answer any one of your questions. So don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And I'm going to wrap this up here. Right now, I don't see the Texans running for the divisions. I see the Titans taking it, but Wednesday's with the Colts turn to a dogfight for between two for a wild card spot. Don't be surprised if Texans are a threat. I'm telling you right now, Davis Mills could be the best quarterback in that league next year. He really could. And that defense, let me ask you something. Let me throw this out there. Mills is the best quarterback in the South. All right, he's the best quarterback. And your defense just takes a big step up. That could win the division. Chubbs, Hubbard at 7.5 sack, BJ Hill's 5.5. Jesse Bates, top 5 safety, realistically. Yeah, he is. Bates is a stud. Hubbard's a good player. BJ Hill's not bad either. As we'd say, I butchered that name. I really liked him. He came out of Colorado, and he just hasn't really panned out yet. But he was with Dallas, didn't really pan out. They got rid of him, and he's having a good year. All right, hey, Slasher, thanks a lot, brother. Okay, guys, hey, listen, enjoy the Super Bowl. By the way, listen, even though I'm not doing a show next week, hit me up. Either drop a link. All my social media is in the description. You can also hit me up on my email. Any email you send me I don't have my phone on me right here next to me, but it will show up on my phone. I can email you back. All my social media links are below. So Alex says in Millstate, yeah, man, I'll end it on that, man. Hey, Jimmy, thanks, buddy. Hey, Jimmy, good luck on all your bets, man. If I can't win, at least I hope you win, but hopefully we both can win on the Super Bowl. Hey, guys, good luck on all your Super Bowl bets. If you have any questions, hit social media. I'm active on it daily. You can always email me. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I won't be here next Friday, but next week I hope to see everybody back.